The following presentation is a brief introduction to the Persian language and some notes on its general development. At the bottom of this first slide, you'll see that I have written that Persian is a modern Southwest language. What this means, and if you'll follow me to the top of the flowchart, is that Persian belongs to the general category of Indo-European languages. A subdivision of the Indo-European languages is the Indo-Iranian family of languages, which in turn is subdivided into the Iranian languages, which itself is comprised of the southwest, northeastern Iranian languages. The southwest Iranian languages arose primarily out of the province of Fars in Iran, or Pars as it is also known, and the northeastern Iranian languages primarily arose out of the region that is modern-day Afghanistan. We get the term Persian in English through ancient Greek. The Greeks, and later the Byzantines, were both constantly embroiled with the two ancient Persian empires, both of which originated out of Pars, hence the term Persian. The word Farsi, however, is used to refer to the language when speaking in Persian, although many Iranians living in the US and in other English-speaking countries prefer the term Farsi. The Iranian languages may also be divided by time periods, corresponding to terms Old, Middle, and New Iranian languages. The Old Iranian languages consist of Old Persian to the southwest and Avestan to the northeast. Avestan is the language of the Avesta, the holy book of the Zoroastrians. Old Persian was used during the time of the first major Persian empire, the Achaemenid Empire. The Middle Iranian languages consist of Middle Persian Parthian to the southwest and Sogdian and Bactrian to the northeast. Middle Persian, or Pahlavi as it is most commonly known, was used during the time of the second major Persian empire, the Sasanian Empire. The New Iranian languages consist of New Persian, Kurdish, and Baluchi languages to the southwest, and Ossetic to the northeast. New Persian arose approximately 1.5 centuries after the Islamic conquest. There are three main dialects associated with New Persian: Persian, which is spoken in modern-day Iran, Dari in Afghanistan, and Tajik in Tajikistan. The main difference between the three is in usage, particularly loanwords and idiomatic expressions, which has to do with the impact other surrounding languages had on each. For instance, all three make use of a great number of Arabic loanwords and expressions, but Persian more so. Persian also makes use of Turkish and French, while Tajik makes use of Russian. We don't have much information regarding the evolution of New Persian from Middle Persian after the fall of the Sasanian Empire. However, we do know that during the wars and after the garrison troops settled all over the territories of the former Iranian Empire, translators were needed to conduct matters of warfare and terms of surrender, and then for later everyday matters, from farming to tax collecting. Furthermore, there is evidence that Muslim Arab garrison troops, who were ordered to stay in the outskirts of the Iranian towns, cities, and villages to which they had been assigned, after a while began to intermingle with the local populations and eventually married into Iranian families. In light of this, it seems rather likely that the children of these families grew up, if not completely bilingual, then at least incorporating Arabic words into Persian, which may provide one explanation for the rapid transformation of Middle Persian to New Persian. I have been driving home the point that Persian is an Indo-European language. This is because the Southwest languages have mostly used the Semitic scripts. Middle Persian used a modified version of the Aramaic script, and New Persian uses a modified version of the Arabic script. The significance of this lies in the fact that as an Indo-European language, Persian considers short vowels to be real letters, so to speak, that need to be represented, whereas Semitic languages such as Arabic do not. They have markers instead to indicate the short vowels. But as far as Arabic goes, the markers are rarely used except in the Quran and when an editor feels it is necessary. The same is true for Persian. This makes learning Persian for some seem difficult at first. Imagine English without its short vowels. It looks less comprehensible than shorthand, doesn't it? However, students new to Persian discover that they can learn to read and write after 1 or 2 weeks of dedicated practice. For the sake of emailing, Iranians have turned to romanization to represent Persian. For instance, in this email that I received from a friend of mine, "دیشب رفتم پارتی. جات خیلی خالی بود. خودت چطوری؟ امیدوارم که همه چی خوب باشه." Which translates to, "Last night I went to a party. You were missed there. How are you doing? I hope all is well." Romanization of Persian has been quite useful since it reflects the short vowel sounds, but the new issue is that it has not been normalized so that everyone uses their own system for vowelization. This is a sample of Old Persian in cuneiform. The letters represent both vowels and consonants. This is a sample of Middle Persian using the modified Aramaic script. This script was used for liturgical and historical texts, as well as coins and inscriptions. Interestingly enough, the way the modified Aramaic script was used resembles in several respects the way Persian uses the modified Arabic script, but we will leave that for another discussion. Here is an example of Persian in modified Arabic script, which is also called the Perso-Arabic script by some. This simply means, I like this topic very much. This is an excerpt from a manuscript in the print or Nasl style. This is an excerpt from a manuscript in the Nasl style, which is likened to cursive style of writing in English, or calligraphy even. The modifications. There are two types of modifications. First, Persian had to accommodate for the fact that 5 sound values b, j, v, ch, and p do not exist in Arabic. In 4 of the 5 cases, Persian modified the letters of the following phonetically similar sound values k, z, w, j, and b by adding lines or extra dots. So as you can see on the right hand side, you have the letters kaf, z, waw, j, and b. Persian added letters very similar to those letters, but modified them. For instance, you have gaf, which has a line above it when compared to the letter kaf to the right of it. The letters j, ch, and p have 2 extra dots when compared to the letters to the right. Vav is the only letter that was not modified, and this is because that at the beginning, Vav was pronounced w by Iranian speakers. Conversely, there are more than a handful of letters in Arabic that are associated with sound values that do not exist in Persian, but appear in Persian as part of loanwords. Persians alter the pronunciation of these letters. So in the first group, all 4 letters have the shared sound value z. In the second group, all 3 letters have the shared sound value s. And in the last group, both letters have the shared sound value t. Words of other origin in Persian, the case of Arabic. New Persian arose in the written form in the 9th century, already fully incorporating thousands of Arabic loanwords. Most of the loanwords are in the form of compound words. Here are 2 examples. First, we have dars dan, which means to teach. Dadan is the last word on the left, and is a verb in Persian which means to give. Dars is derived from the Arabic verb to study. Together they make the compound verb to teach. Qablaz, or before. Qab, the first word to the right, means before in Arabic. Az means of or from in Persian. Words of other origin in Persian, the case of French. Dar al-Funun, which was Iran's first polytechnic institute, was established in the mid-1800s. By the 1920s and 30s, it employed almost 30 European instructors to the handful of Iranian instructors. In the 1920s and 30s, students who studied French at the Dar al-Funun were sent to France and Belgium to study modern sciences and medicine. They, as well as diplomats, incorporated words dealing with articles of clothing and words of official and government capacity into Persian. Merci is the most common word for thank you used in Persian. Words of other origin, the case of English. This is a result of English as a lingua franca. It is also a result of innovations in technology, and it is mostly due to the Iranian diaspora in the U.S., primarily Los Angeles, California, which is home to the largest number of Iranians outside of Iran. Finglish, Persian and English in the U.S. We now have new compound constructs. For instance, ride dadan. Dadan means to give. Ride is the phonetic representation of the English word for ride. Together they mean to give a ride. But already a word exists in Persian for that, resandan, which may literally mean to make someone or something arrive, but is used in the context of to give a ride. It will be interesting to see how Persian develops from here.